My name is Reem Jayyousi, and I'm the daughter of Kifah Jayyousi. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a student at Wayne State University. I'm a psych major, and my father was convicted on a bunch of false accusations, and it was basically like a pot of stew, and you just put so much stuff in there, you suddenly have, you know, the stew, and that was his case.
How long has he been in prison now?
He's been in prison, I believe, about 8-9 years or so. I lose track of time, and so I don't know exactly when it happened. I mean, when you're in a situation like this, you don't really, like, time is not even perceived as something. Like, you don't even know. It's basically, oh, when I was this years old, and it's not even like that. It's like when I was in 10th grade, when I was in 9th grade. It's not really.
How old were you when he was indicted?
I just graduated middle school, so 8th grade. Yeah, I was pretty young. It's sad and it's hard, especially when I see like my little sisters and what they go through and what my mom goes through. Who in that courtroom would have saw that, you know, they were supposed to be not guilty. Every single person, from like the guards to the people who walked him in, to the reporters, to the family, to even the people who just came in and sat and listened, like everyone saw, and they were all surprised at the end. I mean, we had the last day, there were like reporters crying, the guards were crying, the people who even brought him in with the shackles there, everyone was crying. Even the lady, I don't know what they call him, but the one that types, she was crying, and it was sad. It was a sad moment. You know, the communication management units is where he's held at right now, and those units are made specifically for Muslims. They hold about 35 Muslims, I believe, throughout each unit, and these units opened after September 11 under the Bush administration, and unfortunately they're still running under the Obama administration. And there are reports that in Texas they're opening a women's facility, which is I don't know, it's weird. These units, like, when you visit an inmate, you visit them in 2 separate rooms, no matter how like young the child is, or if their charges are like serious or not. I mean, you have sometimes in other prisons for people who have murdered or like raped or killed anybody, even children. Like, you have pedophiles who get to touch their own family members and do all that.
When's the last time you visited your father?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. It was before like last August or something. He's currently in Marion, Illinois, and that's 15 hours away. So you can imagine, with a family of 4, because it's me and my sisters would go, to get the hotel and to get the car. And if you don't get a car, my mom has like medical problems, and so we have to go by plane, and so plane tickets, and then you have to drive all the way to the hotel, and it's insane. It's a really hard trip. And about each trip is like $2,000, $3,000. It's just expensive.
How long do you get to see him when you go?
I don't even know if I get to see him, because it's like through glass and through a phone, and it's not really, like, it doesn't even count. But it's usually I believe it's 8 hours a month, but we usually go at the end of at the beginning of a month, so we would group it, so it'd be like 16 hours. But even then, it just seems like a waste. I mean, I'm you know, putting all my money and everything just so I could sit in a separate room and talk to him over the phone, which is, you know, I kind of noticed, like, from the beginning, like, my father is like highly educated, he's a veteran. I noticed that his, like, I don't know the word for it, but his mindset is like, I mean, he's still smart, but you can see that he's like broken down. Like, he's not the same person. I mean, we talked about solitary confinement yesterday. He's been in solitary confinement. He was in it in Florida from before his trial, during his trial, and not during his trial. He was out on bail during his trial, but it was before his trial. And then in the CMUs, technically you are in solitary confinement because you're separated from everyone. I mean, right now they don't even let them pray, which is insane to me. I mean, I can't even put that through my head. And you know, I live in Detroit, and I lived there ever since I was younger, and you have the schools in our neighborhood, they're all closed. There are no schools, there's no nothing, yet the government finds it reasonable and it makes sense to pay like $1.4 million for 35 guys for like what? Like, they're not even the real killers or anything. I'm pretty sure if you take any of those men and you put them in a regular prison, like, they don't do anything. I mean, there's guys that come in there from the general population, and they're like, oh, if I leave my phone, or if I leave, my watch or something, I forget it on a table, nobody steals it. In other prisons, it gets stolen from the person while you have it, even like before you leave it. And it's insane that they would take peaceful people who have done good for the community. I mean, you look at these people, they're like veterans, they're, professors, not just like fathers and brothers, forget all that common stuff, but they actually have like good backgrounds. They help the community, and they help the, United States. They worked for the United States, and this is what happens to them. I remember, I think it was last Veterans Day, my dad was talking to my mom, and he's like, can you believe it? I'm a veteran, and this is what they do to me? Can you believe it? He was shocked, because he was in the Navy, and so it's like really good. It's so hectic.
Are you fearful for yourself, for your family, for your friends in the community?
Yeah, I'm fearful. More for my future kids than I am for anyone else. I'm fearful more for not just, people of different races, like the minorities, but even, like the white people, because this is not only happening just to the minorities. This is expanding, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's there. You just have to put pieces to the puzzle together, and you'll see that, you have no right.